It's roughly 3,500 years ago, and your stomach has stopped cooperating. You feel swollen, uncomfortable, and increasingly aware that your body has declared a labor strike. There is no pharmacy, no fiber supplement, and definitely no phone for ordering prune juice through Uber Eats. Your options are whatever the local healer remembers, whatever plants are nearby, and perhaps one deeply suspicious cup of beer. And one civilization's solution involved a drink you would never expect a doctor to prescribe. So how did ancient humans treat constipation? Constipation was not a modern problem waiting for office chairs and processed food to invent it. Ancient medical writers described retained stool, abdominal pain, and blocked bowels, but they explained them through very different systems: trapped waste, disturbed humors, overheated organs, or forces that were simply not flowing correctly. Start with ancient Egypt, the civilization that could organize pyramid construction but still had to negotiate with an uncooperative intestine. The Ebers Papyrus, copied around 1550 BCC and associated with Thebes, contains a passage now labeled Eb 193 describing an obstruction of the digestive tract and an accumulation of feces. The healer first examined the patient's abdomen by hand. Then came the remedy: plant material, juniper berries, grasses, oil or fat, honey, wine, milk, and sweet beer. Part herbal medicine, part breakfast, part brewery experiment. Some of those ingredients may have had a mild softening or lubricating effect, although the full recipe has never been tested as a modern treatment. What matters is that Egyptian healers were not simply guessing at random. They observed the abdomen, recorded symptoms, combined ingredients, and linked bowel clearing with health. Around 440 BCE, Herodotus also claimed that Egyptians purged themselves for 3 days each month because they believed food caused disease. He was a visiting Greek with a habit of reporting dramatic stories, so that schedules should be treated cautiously. Still, it reveals how strongly digestion, purity, and health could be connected. Practical, symbolic, very Egyptian. Now move to Greece around 400 BCE, where medicine became more systematic and somehow more obsessed with bodily fluids. The Hippocratic text on regimen in acute diseases describes patients whose bowels were constipated and recommends opening them rather than simply waiting and hoping. One treatment called for a clyster, an early enema, made with hot water and plenty of oil. The patient might then be rubbed with ointment and placed in a warm bath. If that failed, the text could recommend ass's milk until purging occurred. Did Greek doctors really prescribe donkey milk for a blocked bowel? Yes, they did. Hippocrates, or more accurately, the many writers collected under his name, was basically the ancient world's version of a doctor who asks 20 questions about your diet before allowing you to describe the actual problem. Still, the approach was important. Greek physicians looked at food, hydration, heat, movement, timing, and the patient's overall condition. They did not understand the digestive system as modern doctors do, but they were trying to match treatment to symptoms instead of using one magical cure for everyone. That was a serious intellectual shift, even if the appointment occasionally ended with warm oil entering from the wrong direction. Then came Rome, which absorbed Greek medicine and added the confidence of an empire that believed every useful plant deserved a long written review. Around 77 CE, Pliny the Elder completed Natural History, an enormous encyclopedia containing remedies for almost everything. In Book 20, he reported that cabbage not thoroughly boiled could loosen the bowels, while cabbage boiled twice could have the opposite effect. He also described lapsina, a wild cabbage-like plant, as gently relaxing the bowels, and sea cabbage as strongly purgative. Pliny was kind of the ancient world's version of that one person online who has a confident remedy for every condition and cites "people say" as the clinical trial. Yet some of this plant knowledge was probably built from repeated observation. Romans also used oils, wine mixtures, suppositories, baths, massage, and enemas inherited from Greek practice. Treatment depended heavily on status. A wealthy Roman could consult a trained physician and receive carefully prepared ingredients. An ordinary laborer was more likely to rely on household foods, local plants, or family advice. Same digestive crisis. Very different customer service. Modern polyethylene glycol laxatives only became widely used in the late 20th century. Yet the basic strategy, add water, soften the stool, and encourage movement, would have sounded surprisingly familiar to an ancient physician. The tools changed. The goal did not. Zoom out, and ancient constipation treatment looks less like a collection of ridiculous recipes and more like the beginning of a long medical conversation. Egyptian healers examined the abdomen and recorded compound remedies. Greek writers adjusted treatment according to symptoms, diet, and the patient's condition. Roman authors cataloged which foods loosened the bowels and which tightened them. They were often wrong about why their treatments worked, and some ingredients were ineffective or dangerous. But they were observing, comparing, recording, and trying again. That is how medicine begins. Not with perfect answers, but with someone noticing that one remedy helped, another failed, and the body was trying to tell them something. Whether you live beside the Nile, inside Imperial Rome, or 5 minutes from a modern pharmacy, few things destroy your dignity faster than a digestive system refusing to follow instructions. Civilization changes. The awkwardness does not. So the next time your body keeps you waiting, remember, at least nobody is handing you donkey milk and calling it cutting-edge medicine.